Hello, hello, hello. Hope everybody's doing well. And welcome to today's Wednesday's readings. And we're just going to wait just for a hot second to see how many more individuals will be joining us today. So hopefully if you're watching this on the replay, I'm literally just waiting there. Hello, my gorgeous. Hello, hello, hello. We are just going to be waiting for anybody else who would like to join in on today's discussion and Wednesday's readings. How are you guys doing? Clariston, it's wonderful to see you. Master Oda Local, hello, my gorgeous. It's wonderful to see you. Master Lucas, it's wonderful to see you as well, my sweet pea. Alrighty, we're getting a few individuals coming over here. Okay. So, yeah, and sorry, I'm still waiting for all the names to come up and see who is here. And thank you so much for all the love. Hi there, Rose. Hello, my gorgeous. Alrighty, you guys. Master Orton, I see you there too. Wonderful. Renee, it's wonderful to see you as well. Excellent, excellent. Right then, my sweethearts, it is 2 p.m., so it is time for Wednesday's readings and guidance. And the topic of discussion, gorgeous, the topic of discussion today is literally the purpose of sex and how we evolve our consciousness within it, within a union of light. Hello, Vladimir, sweet pea. It's lovely to see you. And overcoming sexual tension caused by fear and past experiences of abuse. Now, the thing is, when I was actually making my poster to say, hey, this is what time I'm going to be going on, I was like, well, what is the topic? What would I like to discuss with everybody today? And the first thing that came in was, let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. And so I'm like, oh. And the reason why is, I suppose, that there's many of you out there right now who are going or feeling their fears and their sexual tensions and not really understanding why their unions are not producing the love and the joy and the wonderfulness that comes with lovemaking, right? Now, don't get me wrong. I have spoken about this before. You have seen me speak about this before in some of my other lives and my other lessons. But I suppose this is one of those times with this new full moon energy that we've just got to go into it. And happy full moon to you as well, Vladimir, sweetheart. And so we're just going to go, we're going to recap a little bit about, sex and intimacy and understanding the fears and the tensions that go with it, and how we can release these things. Because at the end of the day, with so much fantastically brilliant energies that are coming in through the universe, it is so important, more now than ever before, to understand who we are and our nature, especially when it comes to our unions, right? Because one thing that's happening is this conformity that goes on within society, and our approach to lovemaking and sex and intimacy is so far askewed. And then we wonder, why are so many of us so unhappy within our relationships and within our unions? So let's flickin' get this ish sorted. Let's understand ourselves more today in this area so that we can make better decisions on how to grow our energy rather than simply letting it fall to the wayside. Clariston, I've started feeling happy on the full moon and crying on the new moon. Yes. The full moon brings all that wonderful boost of energy, and the new moon means we got to release all the shit we didn't let go of. So yeah, there's some tears here. Well, you know what? Hopefully with this coming out here, more understanding, we all can be a little bit happier on our new moons as well, right? Okay. So, we have some, of course, readings and guidance as well to go on with ourselves today. I did also make up a new pendulum wheel to correspond with today's lessons of guidance. Now, when we do get to the readings, if after we've went through the discussion and you're just like, shit, where is my energy at when it comes to my approach? Why am I not gaining fulfillment when I do have intercourse or intimacy with another individual? And it's always been like this, or so forth. So literally, I've got a wheel here to help us understand a little bit more about what's going on. And Jared, sweetheart, you are very, 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 very welcome. Please call my name out whenever you need my assistance to get rid of some entities, because you know I'm sitting there waiting. I'm just watching those little shits, and then as soon as you, if I'm poking you and you're just like, oh shit, Master Kulipup, can you help me? I'm like, fuck yeah! I'm waiting. Anyway, so now let's get on with our discussion, and then once we are finished and everybody kind of like we know a little bit more about where we're going, we'll get on to the readings. And if you would like a general reading, of course you are more than happy to ask whatever question you like. I will of course use my other pendulum wheels, and we will use a pendulum, but also do a little bit of truth of the heart readings at the same time, or I'll speak to your heart or your spirit, and you can ask absolutely anything. But if you do want to know more about what we are discussing today in your own energy, I've got a wheel for that too. Alrighty. So let's firstly let's go a little bit in terms of why do we have sex? Alright. Now let's think about this. So traditionally, it is simply, when it's stated in a lot of religious contexts or within society, you have sex for reproduction. That's basically what it is. Usually it is two people come together, have intercourse, and the whole process of it is to literally produce offspring in order to further on the species and the race, right? The human race. Now, although yes, that is technically what sex is there for, but there's another half of it, right? Physically, in this material world, we do need to reproduce, right? And we got to keep the species going. However, we are also immortal beings of light and energy, and we actually hold no form of physical sex. We both have the male energy and we have the female energy. But when we are light beings floating around, we can be either, depending on what kind of position that we're in the moment in our development. We could be more on the male energy, which is strength, creation, flow in the material, or we could be more within our feminine energy, which is more of the nurturing, more of the healing, more of the understanding and using the wisdom. So again, whether we have a willy or a vajayjay, it doesn't really matter. Those are only here for the material. So as we are all evolving right now, and the way we are evolving is through our consciousness. Okay, now here's the thing. When we want to develop and evolve and reproduce as light beings, we come together based off love, right? This is how we reproduce. So when you have two twin flames in the ethereal, or two beings in the ethereal who have a lot of energy, right? What we need to do in order to grow, we are buzzing and we're kind of full, so we come together and we make love, and our energies combine. And because our energies combined, it creates a new source fractal. Or if it doesn't combine, if we do not create a new source fractal, because we do have the ability to understand what we're doing at the time, it just means that we grow and expand within ourselves, because to make love is to exchange energies. All right. So I'm going to put this in a. I've been using the computer analogy lately, because I think it really helps individuals at this point in time anyway understand what's happening when it comes to energy exchange. All right. So basically, each and every person is a computer. All right, your whole body is a biological computer, and your consciousness is attached to that computer. Now, I'll use myself. I'm Kulipup. All right. Now, Kulipup has a wealth of information and knowledge based in my computer. All right. And now, as I'm going out and as I'm experiencing life, I may do rock climbing one day. I may heal somebody the other day. I may develop my magic and come into this new existence of just like, wow, I can start to levitate and everything. Now, that is a personal experience to me that I have gained. All right. But here's the thing. It's time for me to grow. I've experienced as much as I can experience on this on this level, on this playing field. I have learned how to levitate, but now I need to go further. But the thing is, I'm like, I need more energy. I need more stuff. I need something else to literally switch it up, right? At that point, I'm going to have a natural drive to make love, all right? Because at that point, I need to grow. It's like food for my consciousness. So what I'm going to do is my vessel and my consciousness, my energy is going to send out a signal out there, right? Based on how I want to grow. So perhaps I now need more information, not only in order for me to fly the way I want to fly, I need now more information on how to get my body to work, but I don't know how to do that yet. So again, my energy sends off a signal out there into the universe. And what it's doing is it's searching for a counterpart. For me, it would be a male counterpart that holds the information that I need in their computer, right? That will be the key to unlocking the information to get me to levitate, because then I'll understand my body more. So I go out there, my energy's going out there, and I'm living life, and I come across an individual who holds that energy within them. Now, as we come together in a union, right, our energies are now exchanging. So as we are unified, it's like plugging in their USB stick into my computer. Literally, I guess you could say that. And as we make a transfer, I now get the information within my consciousness that will help me to understand my body in order to fly. Now, subsequently, that individual also may need some information from me in order to learn more about themselves, right? Now, as we have this transfer, they get the information they need, I get the information I need, and then when we're finished, we can grow, right? And our consciousness expands because we literally just hooked our computers up. But what's actually happening? Now, that's when we actually make love here. Right? This is when we actually make love. And the only way to have that proper connection and transfer to the fullest ability that we can is I need to, one, know the individual that I'm with, right? I have to trust the energy and the guidance that is happening in that moment as to how we came together, right? And then I got to go with the flow. And so does the other individual. And usually that is going to cause a very strong, nice connection for all of the data transfer that is going in. Here's the thing though. A lot of individuals don't understand why they do what they do. What they do is they look at lovemaking just as a physical act to scratch an itch, or as something they have to do within a commitment or a union that they're in, even though there's no real reason for the data transfer to go on, right? And or it is somewhat forced upon them in a way, such as past abuse and traumas, or they are simply doing it because the energy is there, their body is there, but they don't actually know how they want to develop or how they want to go. So there's this swirling energy that's inside them, which then stops their focus on what am I actually doing here? To simply, I just need penetration, or I just need to thrust in order to get what it is that I need to get. But here's the thing. Because there's no understanding of what information you're exchanging, it's not fulfilling, right? So the individual that you've chosen based on a lustful desire just of the flesh, and not actually being an appreciation or understanding of this individual and what they're actually offering you, right? Means that you could be like, I want to develop and find truth in myself and wisdom. That's what I truly want. But I'm having intercourse with this individual, and all I'm getting is how to peel an onion. And so it's like, I already know how to peel an onion. So I'm not gaining anything. And thus, there's still this need, this yearn to find the fulfillment. And it doesn't come because we're not understanding why it is we are doing what we are doing. So I'm going to read some of these comments first, and then we're going to go on a little bit in a little bit more detail and having a look at this wheel here. So Jared, I'm holding out until I meet someone special to make love with. Man, it's not easy. You know what, Jared? I know what you mean in terms of that. And again, just based on what I mentioned, when you understand how you want to grow, when you listen to your own heart and understand again more about yourself, you'll know what it is you want. Then when you know what it is you want, all you have to do is sit back and let it flow, right? And when the time is ready, the individual that you need is going to come there, right? Exactly. And both of you will have this feeling, this attraction for you to grow together. But here's the thing again. Oftentimes, when we are holding back sexual tensions and fears, sometimes we fear our own desire, right? And when we fear our own desire, it means that we actually physically block that individual from coming to help us grow and for us to help them grow. We block them because of our past abuses or our past traumas, our fear of commitment or relationships, our fear of being hurt, right? Stops us from actually opening up and pursuing what it is that we need in that moment. So the only thing that makes it not easy is just the fact that we fight ourselves half the time. But if we let our energy out in a positive way, we do attract back in a partner, and it can be very, very instantaneous as long as we're happy to let the flow go. Master Lucas, you say, do you see my energy changing so I can accept someone in my life? I've been 12 years since divorced. I have tons of friends to keep me busy. It's going too hard for someone to accept me. It's going too hard for someone to accept me on my level. Do you see that happening for me, Master Lucas? You know what, Master Lucas? I'm going to answer that as soon as we do the readings, okay? So if I don't answer, so you're the first one because that was the first question. So if I don't answer that, just copy and paste it in case it gets lost in the comments. But I am going to go back to that, sweetheart. Definitely. Ortho and Marianne, you say, yes, I explained it the other day as a library and a library card law. We meet up with folks who have the library card. We need to get the info. Exactly. Exactly. But again, it's like, how do you access this library? Right? Claire said, okay, I need to accept this last 10 minutes. I got lost and it's like I'm here again and wondering what has been taught till now. Happens a lot. Yeah, no worries. That's okay. You can always rewatch. I know I blabber on a lot. Ari, you are an actual phenomena. Wish we could have met. We could meet. You know what, though? I'm happy to meet absolutely anybody as long as we are in the vicinity. Bless you, sweetheart. Vladimira, absolutely. I'm now what I want. Just enjoy the life and see. Exactly. Jared, what happens when you have sex with the wrong person? Does their demon transfer to me or negativity? If so, how do you cut the cords and completely undo the energy exchange? Fantastic question there, Jared. Absolutely bloody-tastic. Now, when we make love, like I mentioned, it is a positive connection, a positive energy exchange. Everybody grows after it. And not only that, after you've made love, there's actually a lot of rejuvenation that goes on. Right? When you've done it within your heart and within awareness and with knowing. You know how a lot of people have a lot of sex and they can be just exhausted? When you make love, that's not how it works. There is rejuvenation. There is growth. You may have a little bit of, we need a little bit of a break afterwards, immediately afterwards. But you'll find that after you wake up the next day, there's refreshing, like you've just been rejuvenated. And that's because you've grown. Now, what happens when you have sex or intimacy that is based on fear, that is based on insecurity, that is not based on the fact that you are trying to exchange positive information, but literally, like you said there, just the wrong person? And it's not necessarily the wrong person. It is literally the lack of understanding in knowing, right, of what it is that you require in the moment. So let's put it in this way. I'm and this is hypothetical going on, or you know what? Yeah, whatever. I'm an individual that is, let's say, I am very self-conscious about my body, right? I'm very self-conscious about my body and my looks. You know, every time I look in the mirror, I I criticize my breasts, my hips, my fat, my jigglies, my stretch marks. If I'm a man, I'm criticizing, the fact that I'm not like buff, like looking like I am in the magazines, or maybe I'm balding a little bit if I'm a dude, and it makes me feel more like an old man with no vitality and so forth like that, right? So I've got a lot of insecurities as a person. And the thing is, when I'm looking for a partner, I'm simply looking to have those insecurities fed. So when I go out there as a woman, I'm going to dress up and put all the makeup on and the heels and everything, and I'm going to wear the waist trainers and hide out all of me because I'm insecure. And the simple thing is, I want a partner, man or woman, whatever I choose, to tell me to feed those insecurities, to tell me I'm wonderful. Or if I'm a guy, I'm just going to, instead of looking at my diet and my health, and if I don't feel buff or accepting myself as to who I am, I'm going to then adorn myself in watches, jewels, and flash my cash in order to get a female to tell me that I'm worthy in that way, right? So that's basically what a lot of people look at when they're looking at finding a partner. Now, here's the thing. If you are trying to attract in somebody that is going to tell you you are beautiful or worthy because you don't feel it yourself, right? Then you are not attracting in an individual who is going to truly feel that you are beautiful or worthy. They are only going to treat you based on the mask that you are putting out. That is fear-based. So the transfer of energy is not actually growth. The transfer of energy is to feed the insecurity. Now, insecurity is fear. So if the transfer of energy, your love energy, is going to feeding fear, it is a degradation rather than a growth, if that makes sense, right? So when you are having intimacy with this individual, there is not an intention of growth. It is simply to feed the fear. And the payoff is a moment of basically feeling okay, right? Because your fear has been fed in that moment. But the shitty part is, right, is that as time goes on, it doesn't feel good anymore. Because you continuously have to feed more and more and more of your energy. It's like people who are addicted to crack or heroin, right? They pay their energy out to get that hit, to get the high. But then when the high goes, they come crashing down. They don't feel rejuvenated. They don't feel like they have a lot of energy. There's nothing that was actually produced out of it besides that one moment of the high. And then what happens? It comes crashing down. The reality of life hits them again. And so what do? They repeat the cycle to try to get the high, right? And that is what is happening when you make love, or when you have intimacy or sex with an individual that is not lovemaking, right? And this is where we have a lot of people who are like, I'm addicted to sex. And it's because they're just addicted to the high that it gives. But then as it comes crashing down, there's no fulfillment there. Because it's a constant feed, right, of your light energy to this entity and to this sphere. So how do you cut the cords and completely undo the energy exchange? You can't. Once it's been exchanged, it's done, right? It's like going and paying for a meal that wasn't very good at a restaurant. Well, you've eaten it. So you can't, and what you've put inside you, like, it can't be undone, you now just have to process it. But what you can do is you can choose not to go back to that restaurant, You can choose to eat better. You can choose to cook at home and understand what your body needs, if you get me, all right? So I hope that helps. So again, you can't undo it, but you can use your awareness to build from it again and make better decisions in the future. Okay, Ed, you hit on why it's so difficult for me to find that person. I look at lovemaking as a spiritual transfer. Most of the women I met were only in the physical. It's been more than 3 years since I've made any kind of connection. I'm patient. Ah, right, Ed. Great point there. Great point. Now, here's the thing, though, right? When we are all on our spiritual journey, and I've had the same thing myself. I am very, very, very attracted to high vibrational individuals. You know, when I see a man who is discovering himself, who is within truth, who is, regardless of what they look like on the outside, I feel their energy in the heart, and I'm immediately attracted to them. The higher vibration that they have, the more I'm like, hey, you look real, real good right now. Like, you know, I could eat you all up. And the reason for that is because my energy is all about self-discovery. When I'm in front of an individual who is discovering more about themselves, I vibe with them because the more they know about themselves, or the deeper they can go within their own energy, means that they are accessing parts that have not been accessed before. So then we come together in a union, I get a deeper, more fulfilling energy transfer, right? So that's why I'm attracted to those individuals. However, that does not mean to say that there are individuals out there that even on the surface still have information that I really, really do need in the moment. But here's the thing. If I close myself off to those individuals, I'm closing myself off to a beautiful transfer, right? Because I'm going, no. I have to wait for only the highest frequency, highest person who is both spiritual, who is understanding, who is everything like that, right? And the thing is, though, it's like, although that is wonderful, right? The fact of the matter is, there ain't very many people like that out there right now. But my energy at the moment is calling for it, though. So we have to be open. We have to be open to understand ourselves and trust our energy as to the people that are coming within us. Because everybody you are attracted to, right? There is a reason why you are attracted to them. There is a reason. And if we are saying, well, I'm attracted to you, but you're not high enough frequency for me. You don't do enough yoga for me. You don't eat the right food. So although I have a bit of an attraction, I'm going to stop that. When it's kind of like, why don't we just open ourselves up and explore why we have an attraction, especially if it's coming from our hearts. Right? If it's not coming from our hearts, though, then we know that, okay, this is fear-based. So I understand why I'm not making a union or a transfer. And if you're finding that you're yearning for this, but yet there's nobody around, that's when we know we got to look inside our own hearts here and understand, well, why is there so much fear inside of me that is blocking my growth and my transfer? So let's have a look here. Hi, Nutsag there, my dear. Vladimira, all my life I was thinking and worried if I am enough, if that person like me, what he thinks about me. Now I just don't. Now I feel if you can't see what a beautiful person I am, don't bother. With respect. Yeah, that's it. That is literally it. And that's beautiful. You know, Vladimir, I'm so happy you came to that conclusion, because at the end of the day, it's true. Right? When you truly see your own worth and your own value, you have somebody who also appreciates that gets drawn into your life, right? And when you say no to the individuals that don't see your value, then you avoid a poor energy exchange and that feeding of that insecurity. Jared, you say, man, this sucks. This is what they should teach in sex ed, not how to do what we would already figure out, primarily demand it. Just fuel and motivation for the future, I guess. Yeah, you know what though? This is the thing though. Sex ed, they teach you for preventing pregnancy. They don't teach you about love. They don't teach you about intimacy, unless you're in the Netherlands, I believe. They don't teach you about what love making truly is, because at the end of the day, we got to remember what the school system is there for. It's not there for your positive development and education. It's there for your conformity. So, of course, they're not going to want to teach you how to build your energy through lovemaking. They just want you to have sex so that you can just literally blow your energy and give it away to fear. All right? So, but yeah, it should be taught. And that's why I'm like, shit, if I can pass on anything that you can pass on to your kids for them to understand and not be scared of a union, but to embrace it when it is their time and they're ready, however, whatever that is, then just got growth. Ed, very good point. Thanks so much. Forgot to mention that I am a deep empath. Yeah. No, you're very, very welcome. And that's the thing, Ed. So many of us are empathic, and that's one of the fears that makes us push away from individuals, right? But the more you understand about yourself, right, the more you understand not only how the depth to your empathy, but then how to control it and manipulate it and understand it, and how it reacts to other individuals, right? When you can be the transmitter rather than simply the receiver, then you grow, all right? And it's beautiful. You grow and you know and you flow. Hello, Rikashu. Angie, sweetheart, you say, how does someone know when an attraction is genuine or good for us? Attraction for a reason versus an attraction due to lust or something else. Now, this is another fantastic question there, Rikashu. Okay. How do you know if a union is good for you versus if it is going to be a waste? Right? How you know is how you look at the individual. Right? Now, when you are with an individual, you've got to ask yourself, why am I here with them? Right? This is going to be the key. Now, when you look at them and you're like, I'm here with them because they make me feel pretty. They make me feel special. They take care of me. You know, they make me feel love, right? You know, they listen to my words. They take my advice. They do this for me, or they do that for me. All those are wonderful things, but none of that had anything to do with them. And if you're like, well, I'm with them because they do all this stuff for me and I think they look good, right? That is insecurity feeding. Because when you make love with somebody, or when you're with somebody, but you look at them and you're like, you don't have to do a damn thing for me. I just love you for you. I love you because not only are you gorgeous, but I love the heart that you have. I'm so grateful that I get to spend time with you, right? Often, and I'm appreciating the time that we spend together. And we don't have to do anything. We don't have to go out for a fancy dinner. We don't have to all I just want to do is sit on a bench with you and I'm enjoying myself, right? Just for the sake of you being you, right? That's how you know this is going to be a good union. And the fact that when you are on that bench with them and you're simply just talking, right? And of course they can be lovely, they can be nice, they can, just as regular communication, right? But there is this feeling of just this joyous resonation within your heart, and you're not sitting there going, oh, I wish they would ask me questions, I wish they would tell me something. There's no negativity tainting it. It's just all I think you're amazing, right? Because again, you think they're amazing for a specific reason. Just the same way that, and I know this sounds a little terrible, but you know when you just have a craving for food, right? And let's say your mom makes you, or your dad or your grandpa or your grandma makes you like your favorite dish, right? And you just look at this dish and you're just like, I love this. And it just is so delicious. It looks wonderful. It's packed full of nutrients. And it looks good because your body really wants it, right? Because there's some nutrients in there that you require, right? So the same thing when you have another individual. They look good, they sound good, they smell good. Everything about them is just wonderful because they have something for you, right? So there's a good energy exchange there. Now, I also have, though, in here, on my pendulum wheel, some of the reasons why an individual will seek out a partner, basically, when it's not good for them, right? Or when it's just lust, right? If you are looking at your partner and you're not in gratitude, all you can do is you can't even focus on the words that they're saying. All you can do is look at their body. Perhaps you find it hard to look into their eyes, and instead, if you're a dude, you keep wandering down to the boobies, or wandering down to the hips or the bum, right? And it doesn't matter what the lady's saying up here, or how she feels, or you're just so not focused on anything besides the physical bits. You know, if you're a lady and you're with a guy, and all you can do is focus on the sweet words he's giving you, right? And it makes you not focus on all of the other things, that you don't like, or it makes you compromise. Like, oh, they didn't respect your time. They showed up incredibly late. They didn't care. But, at the end of the day, they just said, oh, sweet words. And then you're like, that's fine. I'll forget about everything that pissed me off and annoyed the shit out of me with you. But because you told me I'm pretty, I feel better. Right? That's going to be a union that's no doubt not going to give you what you need. Right? So these are the things, this is how we kind of work it out. But we'll learn more when we're doing readings. Rose, I'd love a reading if you can. My question is, why Kay is trying to hide her romantic feelings from me. We'll definitely get onto that, but first, when we do get into readings, we're going to do Master Luke Hells first, and then we will go on to yourself there, my sweetheart, but in just a moment. So, I really hope that this small discussion has helped you understand a little bit more about the importance of a union, right? And why you definitely do need to continuously trust yourself and follow through on it too, because one of the things, especially during these full moons and these new moons, as you guys are literally progressing and developing, right, through your evolution of your consciousness, many of you may start to get really, really, really horny or have a really strong need to go make love. And that is your instigation, or that is your trigger, that your consciousness is trying to tell you, look, I'm ready to expand, I need to grow, right? We need to go make a union, right? And this is where it can get really confusing, because you're just like, there's so much energy that is there, and it is really hard to look at another individual and focus on them. But at the same time, if you have these feelings and you have these urges, just make sure you're looking at yourself and just being like, okay, what is it that I'm trying to develop right now? Right? Why do I want to go into this union? Is this person truly what I want right now? Right? And will I gain satisfaction from this, rather than a scratch to the itch physically, but truly in your heart? Right? This is what we need to do. Jared, I thought I was with someone like this, but I guess I was just infatuated. There were red flags, but I overlooked them because I thought she would improve with me, even a soulmate. But it really did burn. Sorry, let me just get that. But it really did burn white hot, then fizzled out. I think she was a karmatic soulmate or something. Jared, the thing is though, once you've made a connection and that energy exchange has been done, this is where you disconnect and you go and you use the information that you've gained. Not all the time through a union, just because you had this fire before, right? Where the energy was just so much and you came together and it was beautiful, fireworks were everywhere, does not mean that it's supposed to happen forever. And that's one of the things where so many individuals, they have these fireworks and the first thing they're like is, oh my gosh, this is it, let's get married, right? Let's get married. But not understanding that it doesn't really work like that all the time. If you are vibing with the same individual, and it really does depend on how much healing is required, or how much data is going to be required. Just think, when you're doing research, right? And I'm going to use Orthoa's example here of the library, right? Mary has so when you are researching something or you need information and you go to a library, it's not every single time that you need a book the size of an encyclopedia. Sometimes the information that you need is just found in a very small, thin little book, right? Each person is a different book, right? So if I'm like basically an encyclopedia series, like if I had a book, it would just be like huge, right? Because I have a lot of information. So if an individual were to come to me and they also are an encyclopedia, huge ass book, it means that we'll probably come together and have a pretty long, a much longer union, because we're sifting through so much information, as we have so much information to exchange. However, if I only need a specific small amount of information that I'm missing, I may get together with an individual who's a very small book, right? And simply we come together, bang, we have a wonderful moment, we exchange our information, but the thing is though, there's nothing else to go with, right? They need to now go and expand their book if they want to come back and be with me in that moment, or vice versa, right? If I need something else from them that they're not able to access right now, I'll have to go away, right? Go away for a little bit to understand more of what's coming on, and then come together once again. But this is it. This is why so many marriages fizzle out so quickly, right? Or why they have to try at it, or, you know, not necessarily a marriage, even if you're in a relationship, right? Where everybody's like keeps trying to spice it up. You know, maybe if I get lingerie, maybe if we do role play, maybe if we do this, maybe if we do that. And it's because the energy transfer has fizzled out. There's no more growth that they are gaining together. So what they're doing is trying to add fluff on top of it to see what can happen, when really it's just the fact that the energy exchange is completed. So you go away, you develop, you learn, you experience life as an individual, you fill up your USB stick again, or you fill up another book, you know, to go. And then if the time comes again where you both are like, wow, yeah, we have a lot more information to exchange, then you come back together, right? That's basically what it is. So as long as we are trying to hold on to a union where there's no more information, you will always butt heads. You will always keep trying and trying and trying to make it work. And the only people you're hurting is yourselves. Because if you were to simply let go and then go and follow your flow, you may find that there's multiple other individuals that have wealth of it and energy to exchange with. Or you may find that you needed to read a couple little books until you found your big ass encyclopedia. And when you find that other person who is an encyclopedia, then you come together and then you stay together for a longer time until that information is complete. However long that takes. It may take 20 years to complete that information transfer. It may take 50 years. It may take 2 months. It may take a day. It may take 20 minutes, right? But the fact that we try to hold on and contort it doesn't help. We only stop our own growth and the growth of the other individual as well. So I hope that helps, though. Jared, yeah, I'm freaking crazy horny. I feel dangerous. And that's another thing. That's part of my pendulum wheel, if you wanted me to put it on there, which is being scared of your own desires. You know, when you are growing as a consciousness, and when we have these feelings, we do get a little bit scared. I know I did at one point too, because I was just like, I feel ferocious at times, you know, just like the frickin' mountain lion cats, or, you know, the female cats that are just like pacing around the men and just be like, look, what's happening? And then when you find one, you're like, ah! But this is the thing, though. You dig a little deeper, you understand a little bit more, and then, you know, eventually you'll find that male lion who's just like, yeah, bring on the roar. So, anyway. But it doesn't last forever. Once you fulfill this energy exchange, everybody goes back to normally. You're like, okay, I'm cool now. And you're like, I blame it on the moon. Yeah. When us ladies, when we get that moon, and when we get all that extra energy, yeah, we may want to be a little bit more pushy. Ortho, just thinking about when I realized that I hold a master key, anything physical I ever judged about myself melted away, right? I knew my worth on a different level than what we're used to. I see myself as energy and information more so than the vessel. Right. Right. And I feel exactly the same way, right? And this is part of the divine feminine. We hold so much wisdom, and it's cool to look at the divine masculine. So many men, right, have so much. When they're in their power, they have so much physical energy. Physically, when they're all fully charged, they feel like they can lift a house, run up a mountain, like, wow, I'm invincible. And women, when we are within our energy, we are supercomputers, right? We hold so much wisdom and knowledge and so forth, and we just want to get it out, right? So that when we find the right counterpart to exchange the information, it's just like, it's beautiful, because we get a little bit of that, the men's strength. As our bodies may feel like, okay, we need that energy to go. We give them our wisdom and knowledge and how to focus their energy, right? With all this, I can run up a mountain. And then you're like, yeah, okay, but don't go up that mountain. Go up that mountain instead. That mountain equals death. That mountain equals development and progression. So go that way, honey. And the thing is, and they're just like, I see you. You're so tired. I'll pick you up and carry up the mountain with you, right? So it's wonderful. Jared, this is great info. Too much Disney movie programming. Right, though. Right? The Disney programming, which is so true, that I just need to find my princess that's going to need me, right? And, I just need to find my prince that will take care of me, and then everything's good forever. It's like, nah, man. Nah, not how it works. Clareston, my higher self is whole and complete in its own, but my heart wants union. And that's the thing, Clareston. It's the understanding of your worth, like we said before. When you understand your worth, especially the way Orthoa has mentioned it, you understand, like, if I'm going to be going into a union, it's going to be a freaking powerful one, because I need an encyclopedia, not just a little flat folding book, right? And that's the thing. So many women are full-blown encyclopedias, but yet they are unified with a little book, right? And then we wonder why we feel like we're giving out so much information, why we're giving so much and not getting it back in return. And it's because they don't have enough to give, right? Or vice versa. You'll have the divine masculine with so much positive energy and direction and so forth like that. But if the lady's book is only this big because she's not accessed her whole database yet, then they feel like they are unappreciated for all their physical efforts. Like they're carrying you up the mountain, but with no direction, right? And so it is very, very difficult. Jared, I would love that, because I really do adore her, and I'm still stuck with her at work all week. That's the thing, though, Jared. You gotta let her go. You gotta let her go. Love her. Love everybody, right? But let them go and let them develop. If she doesn't have enough energy for you, don't force it. It's never gonna work that way. Force. When we want somebody to be good for us, but when they're really, the exchange has been done and they don't have enough to give, then that's forcing it. And if you force it, it never works out, right? Because again, you're just feeding something that isn't there. Jared, I had to do sentience flow mandatory twice a day to process. This helps a lot and relaxes me, right? I feel you, sweetheart. Alrighty, you guys. So, anyway, let's have a look here as to, let's get on to some reading. So I really, really hope that information did help for a little bit more understanding. And again, I do want to go and check out this new pendulum wheel. And I'll give you an idea of how it works. Okay, so again, this is if you want to ask these kinds of questions for today. In this wheel, I have the black part we are going to ignore, so it's just these ones over here. If you want, so for example, if you wanted to ask me, where is my sexual energy right now as it comes to a partner? And so this is going to kind of tell you a little bit more as to why you are not getting fulfillment when you are with another person or within a union. And the kind of things that we've got on here are going to be like, so for example, if you ask me this question, but you get union of light, it means that you are making love and you're doing a positive energy transfer. So it is okay. So go for it, you know, like continue doing what you're doing because you are growing from it at the end of the day. Now, the other options that we have here are if your energy is fear-based lust, okay, meaning that you are simply desiring the flesh rather than desiring the energy of the heart of the individual that you are with. If you are simply desiring the flesh, then it will be a constant cycle, right? Where there is not growth, it is just a body for you to enjoy within the pleasure at the time. And so that means if there is a fear-based lust, you got to ask yourself then, what makes me want this person's body only and not pay attention to their heart, right? And I'm going to have to schedule a reading, so much information to share. Right, though. Right, please do. Schedule it. Yeah, pop onto my system and find a spot where you can. Right. The next one is compromise. Whenever you are with an individual and it doesn't feel very good or you are not getting fulfillment, oftentimes it's because people are compromising. There should be no compromising in lovemaking. I know that sounds really like, oh, that sounds a little bit selfish, but it's kind of like, why would you be compromising on a union that is there for purely for development, which is beautiful, which is lovely? It's kind of like having your favorite meal, but compromise. Like if you wanted mashed potatoes and gravy for a Christmas dinner with vegetables on the side, it's like have everything, but the gravy is going to taste like dirt, right? But you're going to have to put the gravy on absolutely everything. So the mashed potatoes, the vegetables, you know, the Yorkshire puddings, like everything tastes amazing. But you have to slather it with gravy that tastes like dirt. It's like, why? We're supposed to enjoy the meal and everybody's supposed to enjoy it together. There's no reason that there should be any compromise. So if there is a compromise, you got to ask yourself why, right? The next point is actual sexual fuckery, right? And if you're just like, why you guys start cussing there, Kulipup? Fuckery is a word. It means just complete and utter nonsense, right? So meaning, if your energy is stated as sexual fuckery, it means that you're lying to yourself in some way, right? About the sex that you are having. Right? So you may be trying to, or your entities may be masking the fear of insecurity, right? But instead you're just telling yourself like, no, I really like this though. I really, really like it. It's like, nah, you fucking with yourself here. That's sexual fuckery right there. You got to start telling yourself the truth and get rid of this nonsense, right? Because it doesn't make sense, right? The next point we have here is entities literally messing with you. Right? So if you are within a union and you just get flooded with a bunch of fear, or then your body starts to just tense up and tighten up, you got to be like, okay, what is around me whispering into my ear that is causing my body to react, or that these cords of negativity from either past abuses or traumas are now being plucked in order for me to not enjoy the exchange within this union, right? Often the entities start messing with you when there is literally sexual fuckery. When it messes with you when literally the union is actually of light, of love, but the entities want to come in you to distort your perception of this union, to make it something into fear, to stop the energy exchange rather than letting it go through, right? And that's when we got to be like, why? How? Because I need this energy exchange at the end of the day. Not only do you need it, but the other person needs it as well, because it is an equal exchange. So why are we letting these entities distort our vision? A next one is releasing the trauma. Okay, so for example, if you were, unfortunately, like myself, who have went through a lot of sexual abuse as a child or even as an adult, at times The fear will stop us because we need to release the trauma, right? Or we're desperately trying to release the trauma in order to make a successful transfer, right? So if your energy is saying release the trauma, it means that you need to do some inner work to understand the effects of the trauma as it's having on you currently and stopping you from having a unified and successful union, all right? Another point is forgetting the past. Okay, so if you are within, your energy is like, oh, you're forgetting the past. It's because it's more like avoidance, that these things did happen, whatever they may be, right? Something of fear came in the past as you were having a sexual encounter. And now you're trying to forget the past without understanding it, right? And that leads into a place of avoidance. And if you avoid it, then it's kind of like it never goes away. It just is buried, but it's always there. And it causes you to repeat the same cycles over and over and over and over again, right? So one of the things, I'll put it out there, I'll give you a male's perspective or an example. Let's say you're a guy and let's say you watched a lot of pornography and you see all these guys with huge members and everything like that, and you went out there and you tried to make love with an individual, but perhaps this lady or this gentleman said like, oh, well, you're okay, you're average, right? And it knocked your confidence on the size of your bits. So as you are now having further unions in the future, you could be like always in the back of your mind going, I hope she enjoys this. I hope he's enjoying this, or so forth. And it's because you are, or then you're like, I hope they're enjoying this, and then you're telling yourself, yeah, everything's cool. But in your back of your mind, you've not processed this. You've not processed why you feel you may be inadequate at this moment, why this is happening, right? Ola Kunli, this is not appropriate. Like literally, if you are going to be here and you are going to offer advice and so forth, especially on my platform right now, speak your words out truthfully, right? Otherwise, please take that somewhere else. That is so incredibly rude. So incredibly rude. I do not recommend anybody do that. So let's have a look here. There we go. Perfect. I can't stand that. Anyway, so going back on a little bit further. Right, though? Right, rude. Anyway, so that is what forgetting the past would be, because it's like you can avoid it as much as you want, but it's not going to go away, right? It's not going to go away. So the next one that we have is sexual tension in desire, right? So, or meaning being scared of your own desires. And this is what creates tension within that part. So, for example, you may have been taught, let's say you grew up in the church, and you were taught that intercourse is only for baby making, you can only do it missionary, and that's it. Once the 5 minutes is over, you never talk to each other, you don't cuddle, you don't do anything. And the thing is, your body is just like, no, I want to experiment. I want to do other things. I want to explore intimacy. I want to cuddle afterwards. Maybe I want to cuddle upside down. Maybe I enjoy massaging feet. But because I was told, or because there is something in me that said, no, I can't do that. Now you get scared of your own desires, that if you fulfill your own desires, or if you express your desire, that something bad is going to happen. Right? But little do you know that your partner that you with may really enjoy their feet being rubbed, may really enjoy cuddling upside down. But the thing is, you're not expressing your desire and you're holding yourself back because of a fear or something, or you're just scared of what is going to happen if you express yourself. But then the tension builds. The tension, the energy just keeps building and building and building because you're not expressing yourself. So then you never feel the satisfaction because you don't explore that, right? So that's another point there. Another point that you may have on this wheel within your energy is forcing it, right? When you're trying to force the feelings. Now raise your hands. I know that there's probably a few of you watching or who are going to be watching later where you have been with a partner, but the feeling's just not there, but you try to force it in some way, right? So during the moment, you just may be like, or a common example would be, let's say a lady is in the middle of intimacy, right? And she's now thinking of, what's on Netflix later on tonight during the moment, right? Because there's no more energy that's there that's causing enjoyment. So she's thinking, what's on Netflix? But then she's like, no. Okay, I gotta get back in the moment. I gotta get back in the moment. Think of somebody. Think of George Clooney. Think of Denzel. Think of somebody else to try to make me feel better, right? To try to get the connection back, right? And it doesn't work because you're trying to force the feelings. And it's never going to happen. Or if you're a guy and you're just like, you're holding back your desire because let's say you're trying to please this lady, or you're scared of that, if you do something, if you touch her in a certain way, or if you express your full desire, you're going to scare her off, and then you're not going to have anything, right? So what you do is you're just like, okay, well, I'm just going to do everything that she wants me to do in the moment, but then you're not actually into it, right? And so you sit there thinking of like, okay, think of lingerie, think of pantyhose and stockings. Think of Claudia Schiffer. You're doing the same thing because who's in front of you is because you're trying to force the feeling in the moment rather than just saying, you know what, I'm really sorry. We started, but I'm not interested anymore. I'm sorry. Or maybe you're not sorry and you're just like, look, it's just not working, right? And keep going, right? But otherwise you force it. So again, forcing the feelings. Let's have a look here. But yeah, you've experienced that. What I will cook for dinner. I would say most every single one of us have faked it. Master on the Loca, yeah, at one point, right? Again, because we don't know what we're doing in terms of lovemaking. And grocery list, to-do list. Oh, yeah. We have all done it. And again, it's because we're having unions that don't match, right? And the last one I have, or sorry, not the last one, but the last one on the outer wheel is taking more than what you can manage. All right? Both men and women do this, right? And so, for example, when you have an individual that has more, I guess, more pent-up vitality, or it may be a little bit more vigorous, or has a little bit more energy than you do. So for example, I'll give you a scenario. Let's say as a guy, I'll do guys first. You get up at 6 a.m. in the morning, you go out to work, you work for 12 hours, maybe you're doing something very, very physically intensive, or you're at the office, and you come home, it's 6 p.m., you get some dinner in you, and now you are just tired. You are tired. Let's say your missus at that point, right, is just like, oh, babes, it's been a while, let's get jiggy with it, and you're just like, okay, you're beautiful, I love you, I'm tired as shit, but okay. And you go at it. And maybe for yourself, you had only about 10 minutes worth of energy in you, right? And so the first round is done and you're like, okay, I'm finished. But then she comes back and she's like, come on, babe, there's got to be some more in you there. And then, of course, you start again. And the thing is, you want to please your lady, gents. So you keep going. Or maybe you're like, okay, I need to pop a pill, right, to keep me going. And at that point, you're giving way more, although you know there's nothing left there, right, because you're exhausted. But you keep giving more than what it is that you can manage, right? And as you are giving more than what you can manage, you are depleting yourself. And all you are causing is further frustration because all your body wants to do is rest. Subsequently, on the flip side, it's the same for women, right? if we are let's say we had the same kind of day, we went to work all day, we came back, a lot of women will then start cooking and cleaning and doing the kids thing and homework and everything, and at the end of the day we want to go to bed, but our bodies are exhausted, but then our other half turns over and is just like, hey babes, I'm feeling a little randy, and your body's like physically like, I can't do it, but you're like, all right, let's do this, and you sit there and you fake it, and Master look, as you say, you do the and the moans and everything, but really you're thinking about the grocery list. You're thinking about just taking a nap, and you're taking far more than what you have to offer because you're exhausted too, right? So that is there as well. Now, also on this list is, of course, if you are self-blocking yourself. So if you get self-blocking within that, it will correlate to something on the outside as well, meaning that, you know, your fears are blocking you from moving forward within the union in some way. Or subsequently, extreme entity infiltration. That is another point on here. So if you have extreme entity infiltration, that usually does come from very severe trauma or abuse that has come through, or some sort of PTSD, for example. So if you were unfortunately raped, whether you're a man or a woman, if you were raped, and then of course as you are trying to express yourself sexually, there's just images of or feelings of just dread and fear that come in that will completely distort the idea of what it is that you are looking for or what you are trying to achieve during this union, and that it just goes into a place of severe frustration, severe tension, and just like PTSD. What can I say? Or extreme fear. This is what it does. So that's what I have on this wheel for you. So let's now get into a couple of these. Let's get into this now. So if you do have some questions, now is the time to do it. I'm going to go back up to the top, and we are going to go for, at first, we have the beautiful Master Luke Elst. Now, let's get back onto what we got here. I'm just going to have some water, so we can get this done. So, going back to it, you say, do you see my energy changing so I can accept someone in my life? It's been 12 years since you've been divorced. I have tons of friends to keep you busy. It's going to be hard for someone to accept you on your level. Do you see that happening for you? Thank you in advance, of course. So let's have a look here. You know what? Let me have a look here in terms of the union. So right now, Master Luke Elst, your energy is actually currently stating extreme entity infiltration when it comes to the idea of a union with you. And one of the reasons why is because it is stating as well that you are taking more than what you can manage at the same time. Now, is there a reason why on that one? So the entities come and mess with you in that moment. Why? Because at this moment, sweetheart, you need to remove or release the trauma. Anything else that we want to do within this one? Which causes you to self-block. All right. So let's have a look at this here. You have extreme entity infiltration, and as we know, that you have went through your own traumas growing up and so forth as well. So that is still there when it comes to yourself in terms of love making. And one of the things that these entities do is cause you not to speak up and take more than what you can manage. I'll put my hands up. That was something I did too. And it's because my first experiences with sex and intimacy were always forced. So I was always taking way more than what I was able to manage. I was a kid. I shouldn't have managed anything. And a teenager, I shouldn't have managed anything. But at the end of the day, that was what I was programmed in sexually to accept, although it hurt me very greatly. So that's an example for yourself as to something to look at. Now, again, going back with that, the entities, when you are within a union now, the entities come and mess with you and they start telling you a bunch of things, a bunch of horse shit as to why you are being dissatisfied in the moment or picking apart perhaps your partner. No, is that not quite what it is? It is, yes, that is what it is, but it is more so that it's that you get more sexually frustrated, right? So you get more, sorry, this is now like, yes. So the entities increase your frustration when it comes to that. And again, it's because you need to release the trauma, right? You need to release the trauma in order to have a successful union that goes through there. So now to answer your question, do you require somebody to be able to keep up with you and so forth? When it comes to simply releasing in a sexual transaction and so forth, again, you're an encyclopedia, right? But right now you got to focus on your own healing in order to get past this extreme entity infiltration. All right. So are you ready for it right now? You are ready to make love. Right? You are very, very much so ready to make love. You're a grown woman. You know, you can do so at any point. But bear in mind, once you are aware of this trauma, you got to address it, though, in order to get the fulfillment of it. So right now, it's about getting experience in the healing. Right? So let's have a look here. So that's what I can say for you. Now, when it comes to getting a long-term commitment or union with a lovely high-frequency individual that you may want to happen for a long time with, that's still to be told, right? It really does depend on if you can get past this entity infiltration, because the more that they are there blocking you, which causes you to self-block yourself, it means that you won't get enough energy to exchange. So even though you can meet somebody that is a very high frequency, if we cannot get past this, then you're not going to be able to access their wealth of knowledge, as they are not going to be able to access yours, because the connection won't be straight on. It will be there, but almost disconnected. All right. So let's have a look at that. So that's what I can suggest anyway. Alrighty, I hope that helps. Okay, so let's have a look now at, I think the next individual we had was Rose. Okay, I'd love a reading if you can. My question is, why is Kay trying to hide her romantic feelings for me? Let's have a look. The first thing that comes in is that she doesn't understand why she's in a romantic relationship in the first place. So let's have a look here as to how Kay truly feels about you, sweet pea. There we go. Okay, so how does Kay truly feel about Rose? Right. So the first thing that comes up with Kay when it comes to you here, Rose, is that there is trying to find love in the relationship, because she's not currently looking at you in terms of love for you, Rose, in your heart. It's more so just trying to find the feelings there, because there's a lot of insecurity. And the thing is, there are things that are annoying or irritating that she sees in you, but it's not necessarily the fact that she's annoyed by you. It's the fact that she's trying to find enjoyment within the mask of insecurity, but the thing is, the mask is not enjoyable. So at the end of the day, there's irritation there. So if there's a reason why she's unable to express, or why she's trying to hide her romantic feelings, is because she's not truly made up her mind about them, right? And so it's kind of like, don't want to say anything if I feel this way, right? That's the first thing that's coming into me in terms of that reason. So patience, understanding, and allowing it to flow and not forcing or pushing it. I'd also want to know if she's not expressing her feelings with you in the way that causes you to be happy about it, what is with you that is being a little bit impatient? So how is it that you feel about her? Same, love masked by insecurity. You have expectations of her, right? And also insecurity feeding, right? So that's the first thing that comes up. That's the first thing that comes up. And that's the thing, Rose. You know, you guys have history. Well, that makes even more sense, right? Because if you have history, then, like I say, she's trying to find the love there. It's not working because she doesn't like the insecurities and the irritation that she sees in you, is because it's really because she's irritated with herself, but she's focusing on you or projecting that irritation onto you based on the mask, right? So at the end of the day, it's kind of like all the things that she's irritated with you about. So if she's looking at you, right, like let's say that I'm you and she's talking to me right now, just put up a mirror, and it's really she's talking to herself. But the thing is, though, it just, this is what I got for you, though. But again, your energy towards her, again, love masked by insecurity, expectations of change, because you feed her insecurities at the same time, right? So as you feed her insecurity, you're expecting her to change her behaviors based on the fact of what you've done or what you've given. But the thing is, all she does is get irritated by it because it's not really truthful. And then you got to try to find the love. And so that's why she's not expressing anything. That's what I got for you, sweet pea. I hope that helps. Alrighty. So who do we have next? Who do we have next here? So I'm going to go down a little bit further to see what we got. Okay, so I believe the next person I have here is... Okay, sorry, getting down here. There we go, sorry about that. Oh, sorry, I've actually missed a couple of comments here. Jared, you say, I had lots of sex with an older woman before I woke up. Now that I connect the dots with my woke knowledge, she was a narc, siphoning my energy big time. I think she's an entity of fear, succubus. I made some big mistakes in this topic. Proud to say I'm celibate and clean now. Excellent, excellent. And Sweet Pea, you say, if we had experiences we know happened, but only have brief memories and blocked for years, hard as the date rape drug was used, will I ever fully remember, or is it best to just fully let go? It is hard how the flashes come from nowhere and literally paralyze me. What keeps tying that negative energy to me? Yeah, sweetheart, I feel you. You gotta address it, right? Unfortunately, this kind of trauma doesn't go until we literally go back and address it. If your mind is partially blocked out, especially if you were drugged, it is a difficult one because it does take focus, calm, meditation to bring the memories back, right? It happened to me too. And I didn't realize there was this energy in me of being watched while having intercourse, you know, and with multiple individuals. And I was just like, why do I have this feeling of being watched? But it's not even an enjoyable feeling. It's just a seedy feeling. It feels so wrong, but it's there, right? And it's because I had to calm myself, go into a place of meditation, and I reaccessed the memories to realize, like, yeah, it's because I was drugged. I was drugged, and there was a group, and I was just being watched while, you know, turns were being taken. And it was that understanding, when I finally addressed it, that the energy was then released, right? And as soon as it was released, through accessing those memories again, then it no longer plagues me, right? Then I no longer have those feelings of being watched and multiple with multiple individuals and everything like that, because it was gone. That's something I physically blocked out too, you know. But it's just time and patience, and as it is paralyzing and very difficult and very painful, we got to go through it. So that's about a bunch of inner work that we need to get through as well. What I have remembered is beyond what I could imagine, unbearably unreal. Yeah. I feel you, sweet pea. I feel you. And the thing is, though, what really sucks is that even though it is unbearable, even though it was so traumatic and just something we never want to experience again. But this is the thing. We have to accept that it happened. Accept it, acknowledge it, look at it, and understand that in this moment, right now, it is not harming us. It cannot happen to us again right now, right? It may have happened back then, but right now, that shit is not happening. So we need to reprogram our bodies and our consciousness and remove this energy so that we are not allowing it to harm us right now, right? Because this is what happens with trauma. It's like being punched in the face 10 years ago, but every single day still feeling the same punch go through and go through and go through when there's no fist there physically harming us, right? We've got to let it go. But the only way we let it go is if we know about it, right? Is if we address it and remove it that way. So although, I feel you, it's unbearable. It is unreal. It is horrific. But we got to know that it's not harming us now, and we got to get it out. We got to go back to it, right? The same way that, and I have to use the analogy of kids, but you know when a kid is scared of a spider, and the spider, maybe it's like a little daddy long legs, and the daddy long legs touches them, and then they're like fucking freaking out, you know, they're like, ah, mommy, and they run to you, and then you can look at the situation, and you're like, okay, let's calm ourselves down. The spider, for one, is not going to harm you. We're just going to take it over to the window and it's going to be out. Now, kiddo, right now, are you in any harm? No. Right? Do you feel okay? Yes. All right. Let's understand why we're scared. It was the creepy crawly fingers going on there that sent shivers up me. You know, those kinds of things. So this is what we do. And Andrew's saying, how can I remember? Inner work. Meditation and inner work, and focusing it on it, trusting your heart, trusting yourself, your intuition to guide you, and letting it all come back, right? Trauma stops us. It puts the wall up, right? The fear, the tension, everything. It puts the wall up to make us block shit out and make it so that we can't access those memories again. But when we, within our knowing and in ourselves, say, no, I'm taking that wall down. I'm ready to go see it. Right? I'm ready to go, right? That's when it will come back to you. But as much as it, and as soon as it does come back, you're going to want to put that wall back up, but you got to be really strong and just be like, nope, I am safe. Nothing can hurt me. Nothing is harming me in this moment. Show me what I need to see. And then the memories are going to come back to you, right? And then you will know that they are real and that you are not fabricating it because you feel it, right? You feel it. And you know it. Yes, the instinct to block. I'm glad we had that conversation too, because it definitely does help us go, right? It definitely does help us go. Ah, right. Okay. So I hope that helps, sweetheart. I hope that helps. Okay. So let's have a look here and see who the next individual we have is. Alexia Wiley. Hello, sweetheart. You say, will sex ever be pleasurable for me again? Will I ever find my soul partner? Okay, So let's have a look here. I'm going to use my new pendulum wheel on you as well, and let's see why, Alexia, sex may not be enjoyable for you. So let's have a look here. What is... So, Alexia, you've got a little bit of sexual fuckery going on. And why? You have both in the center of entities messing with you at the time and also needing to release your own trauma and forgetting the past. Okay. And also that you are a bit scared of your desires. All right. So you're asking, will sex ever be pleasurable again for you? Well, for one, if with the sexual fuckery, like I said, is where there's just lies. You're telling yourself. So, for example, you may get with a partner, right, at the moment here, Alexia. And for one, I want you to think of, why have you literally gotten with this person in the first place? All right, so that's one thing. Now, you may say, well, I'm with them because they're very nice and they have a very pretty face. You know, they're very handsome, and, you know, they got a good job, and they seem like they're going to be able to take care of me, and that's what I really, really want. That's the sexual fuckery coming in, because your heart's just like, no, I don't actually want this. They're okay, but I'm not really as attracted to them as I say I am. I'm just settling for what it is that they are offering. I actually like to take care of myself, but the fact that they may take care of me financially may be a reason why I want to go with them. And your heart's like, no, that's not really why we are finding this individual attractive. So it's, again, we're just telling ourselves reasons to be with them when we're not really there for that reason. And this is where the entities come in. Whilst you are having intercourse or having this union, the entities will come in and start telling you a bunch of rubbish, horse shit, and just be like, oh, keep going. This is exactly what you want. Yes, keep going. If only you do this, if only you do that in this moment, then it'll be better. And you'll start to feel the pleasure, but the pleasure never comes. And again, it is because you again have some trauma that is within you. So what is that trauma? You have suffered some emotional abuse when it comes to sex, and also sexual abuse, right? So if you have, here's the thing, Alexia, sorry. When you join into a union with somebody, and really what you are looking for is emotional support. You want to know that you are valued. You are seen in that moment for who you are, right? But usually if it's emotional abuse, then all you're getting out of it is just friction, right? It's just all about the physical because the emotion's not there, which then leads a lot of ladies to feel like a blow-up doll, or that we are being used, right? And it's very difficult to enjoy sex in a pleasurable way, or the union in a pleasurable way, if you simply feel like you are simply being used as meat, right? Or a warm body to fill a bed, right? And again, it doesn't matter how much you tell yourself that this is okay. It ain't okay. And it makes you feel, again, like you're being used. Go for it, kiddo. Right? So again, you're trying to forget the past by avoiding it, but it's not working. And then it means that you have a bunch of pent-up desires that you are now scared of putting out there, right? Because you keep telling yourself something that you don't want and avoiding the things that you actually do want. Because for one, no doubt, you probably feel like if you express what you do want, you're not going to get it, right? Like I was explaining before. And this is the reason why it is not enjoyable for you. Right? So, how are you going to solve this right now? For one, you need to stop this sexual fuckery. You really do need to. And you got to let it go. You've got to express yourself as to what it is that you want. If you feel like you want an emotional connection first, then do not allow an individual to simply come in and compliment your body. Just be like, yeah, I know I have a beautiful body. I know exactly how good I can make you feel, right? But this is what I need, right? I need to be valued. I need to be seen. And the thing is, for you to be valued and you to be seen, you got to show yourself. right? And not let the sexual fuckery tell other people exactly what you feel about yourself, because it's a lie, right? So that's what I got for you, sweetheart. I hope that helps. Okay, let's go on to the next one. All right. So let's have a look here. So, Master Lucas, I think you went away from a little bit there. Yes, so let's go on there. So you may have to re-watch to get the other one that I gave for you. But I have not met anyone that I can truly get a spark with. That's the only way I would make love to someone, if I feel an attraction to them. Lots of friends, but no one I want in my life. One thing that held me at bay is I see what's truly in their heart. Not many I like what I see. I'm open to find someone. I will not compromise who I am or change just to be in a relationship. I enjoy the relationship I have with myself. I'll work on this entity so I can accept someone in my life. Thank you. Oh no, that's wonderful. Sorry. So you did actually see it. That's wonderful. And yeah, and that's it though. Remember, Master Luke House, we literally attract in the individuals that is a reflection of our heart. So if you are still in this place of extreme entity infiltration, right, of taking more than what you can manage to give, then this is what we are attracting in. We are attracting in, yeah, a lot of friends, but genuinely men who may be unable to focus and will try to take more from you than what you are willing to give, right? Who may have their own sexual frustrations and desires that they're holding back, that when they're with you and they see your beautiful face, your beautiful body, all they want to do is express that, which then causes them not to consider you, right? So it's as you say, in order to change this, we just got to change what's in here first, right? So definitely addressing this. And it's been 12 years so far, but you know what? You've only been truly awake for the last couple of years. So perhaps now is the time for you to focus on this area once again. And although you've talked it through with yourself many times before, now it's time to go deeper. Because you are an encyclopedia. And if you've talked only to this much to yourself, now we got to go way down deep to page 1482, which is going to have the clues for you to finally get rid of these entities, right? Which is beautiful. Alexia, you just read me like a book. Thanks, love. Yeah, it's kind of what I do. But I'm glad that helps, though, if it does. Okay. Jared, sweetheart, you say, sorry if this is a weird question. Are there safe, healthy ways to enlarge and harden your willy and ways to tighten a vajayjay like Kegel balls, stretches, and pumps, etc.? Okay. When it comes to the physical bits and pieces, for one, a healthy diet helps incredibly. So your body does self-heal and self-regulates and so forth. So if you are a man and if you are eating meat, dairy, eggs, and the things that your body does not like, you will find that you will not have enough energy for a solid member when the time happens. And not only that, you will lose out on energy very, very quickly, which means your stamina is not there. So in order to have a safe and a healthy way to have a very hard and erect member, it is just put lots more vegetables in yourself. Do your sentience flow. Follow the guidance of your body, and your bits and pieces will literally be very, very strong and profound. Now, also, when you understand when you are making love, right? And you are in enjoyment and understanding of why you are with another person, your body will automatically react to that. And you will, of course, have the right amounts of blood flow that are going in there, right? Subsequently, ladies, our vajayjays literally react to our mental status and also our health. So if we are also, and it doesn't matter how many kids we've had, doesn't matter the how many partners we've had in terms of their sizes, whether big, small, huge, tiny, doesn't matter. Our vajayjays will literally conform to the whatever is going up there at the time, right? So if we are also healthy, definitely not eating out of the eggs, casein proteins, meats, and so forth, and giving our bodies what it is that we need at the time, our vajayjays will heal and self-regulate. Now here's the thing, something you may not have known or understood before. When a lady is truly making love, right, and she has the right partner, her vajayjay will literally remain completely lubricated for the amount of time that energy transfer is going on. But not only that, it will tighten naturally based on her partner and the lovemaking that's going on within there. Almost as if she is sucking the information out of her partner. So basically, if you find, and this is why so many ladies, for one, don't get lubricated or don't stay lubricated naturally during the course of their intercourse, and they also feel quite loose, right? Or they don't have a suction or a tightening, and it's because their partner, their vagina literally is just like, there's nothing here for you to give me, just get out. So I'm not holding on to this. So thus, there's no lubrication, there's no tightening, there's no nothing, because the vajayjay is just like, whatever the mind wants to do, I don't care. My heart's just like, there's nothing going on here. So we can do this, but right? But literally, as you come together within a proper union of love, you will stay pretty much rock hard for the amount of time that is required, and she's going to stay very lubricated and continuously contract and tighten around you for the time that it's there. That's also a very good signification to both individuals that once the energy exchange is finished, be able to ejaculate as ferociously as you did before, and then it comes more of just like trying to get the friction going in order to ejaculate, and you'll find that the lady will just start to get a little drier and just loosen up and relax. So my suggestion is, when you both listen to your bodies, when that time comes, don't force it. Don't try to force the feeling anymore. Just stop and take a break. Right? It doesn't mean that you don't ever, like, you know, like the session is done altogether. You stop, you take a break, you know. If you're just low on energy, go eat some broccoli, go eat some, go get some food, you know. Sit and talk to each other, cuddle, snuggle, enjoy each other, you know. Feel the curves, lay on his chest, feel her curves, you know. Reestablish the connection once again. And if it does come there, then you'll find that you will become very erect one more time, and she will get lubricated again, because you gave yourselves the time and consideration both for you to rebuild it. And if it doesn't come back, it just means you're finished for the day, right? Go out and experience and do what you want to do and come back again, right? This is literally what we got to do. Jared, thank you. I've been getting down with my juicer lately. I really like beets, even if I pee and poo right? There you go. Go on and enjoy it. Healthy body is the first step, and then after that is about just listening to it. So, excellent, excellent. Master Lucas, I've been here the whole time, love, but I will rewatch, make sure I catch all of you. Oh, no, that's fine. You know, I only said that because Facebook brought the notification back that you were watching again, so I thought, oh, maybe it went off and then came back. So, no, that's fine. If you've been watching the whole time, awesome sauce. Alrighty. So, any more questions or queries that we want to go through? I've got 20 more minutes with you guys until 4 o'clock. So let me know. Is there any more questions that you have that we can go through? They do not have to be related to sex. However, if you do want to know where your energy is, then we can have a look at that right here, right now. Oh, Rikashu, you wanted to know where we're going there, and I missed you there. Sorry. So Rikashu, I'll just go with yourself. So Rikashu, where are you right now? Rikashu, you've got entities messing with you. Why? You are taking more than what you can manage. Why? because you're forgetting the past, or sorry, but you're avoiding the past, and you're forcing the feelings, right? So Rikashu, for yourself, let's look at that again. You've got, when you are with your partner, literally, entities are starting to mess with you. They're starting to whisper in your ear, taking your focus away from the reason why you're with the individual, or lying to you as to what it is that you want when it's not really what you want, which then causes you to, at that moment, take more of what that you are able to manage than what you actually want in that moment, right? So as you take more than what you want, then you forget the past, and it's just like the truth of what it is, of what is really stopping you from going forward, and then you try to force the feelings, right? And this is why you are not gaining satisfaction, my love, all right? And not only that, but if you are a mother of a few kiddos there that are a little bit of a handful, and you are working, and you have the stresses of the work, the job, the family life, and you are starting this beautiful business of your own creativity, and your partner may not be as considerate of you, but he is there, and then when your body wants to, when Rikashu's just like, yo, we need to expand our consciousness here, but you keep looking at the same individual and forgetting the past, which is, I don't really want to be here in the first place. This is not fulfilling to me. This is not what I want, but you're avoiding that. Well, then, yeah, it leads you to force the feelings, and then it doesn't feel good. No matter what you do, if it's during force, in this moment, it ain't going to work out, right? So this is what it is. Ed, sweetheart, I don't actually send out emails like that, my dearest. If you would like to schedule a reading, you're going to need to go to my booking website, which is something I'm going to have to find the link for. But in some of my past reasons, I've got it. But it's basically bookings.appointee.com/source truth. Now, once you click on there, you can register yourself in, book your information in, and then select a time slot that is there. And then once you get a slot, all you got to do is show up, and we'll do it on Facebook because this is where we are. So I will let you know on that one as to how to do that. Otherwise, I really cannot stand admin. If I book you in, then it means I'm going to book everybody else in. And if I've got to book everybody else in and I get frustrated with an admin, I'm just like, no, burn it all down. And I won't do anything because I really can't stand it. Okay, let's have a look here. Jared, this video here is really enforcing my change into manhood. I love this topic. Good. Maybe that's exactly why it came to me at first to speak on this topic. So I'm happy if it helps. Vladimira, yes, please do. I'm healed from past, please and thank you. Yeah, of course. Let's have a look here. Vladimira, where is Vladimira's energy when it comes to right now? Right now, sweetheart, when it comes to your sexual satisfaction and love making, as to why you are not transferring energy as accordingly, is because compromise. You compromise too much as to what it is. And you compromise because of sexual fuckery. Right? Just like, nah, man. You're compromising, saying that, going back to the gravy part, you know, the Christmas dinner that is beautiful, but having to have gravy that tastes like dirt, you're compromising. And the sexual fuckery is telling you that it's okay, I can manage with gravy like dirt, and that's okay, but really, you can't. You really don't like it. You just don't like it. The compromise is not working out, and that causes the entities to then come in and mess with you, right? And then when the entities are messing with you, it goes into forcing the feelings, right? And then, and as we know, just like I was talking to Rikashu there, if you keep forcing these feelings, there's no satisfaction, because lovemaking is never forceful. It should never be forceful. It's just literally enjoyable from the get-go to the expression, right? You know that saying, you know, when people are like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Here I am. I'm like, well, why the shit are you having cake if you can't eat it? I'm like, yes, you can have your cake and you should eat it. Otherwise, it's a bloody waste. Why have the cake if you ain't going to eat it, right? And so why go into a union if you have to compromise? Doesn't make sense. You're a fantastically beautiful woman. You have wonderful healing capabilities and a heart that is so strong and pure. There is no bloody reason on this God-given earth why you would have to compromise, right? There really is no reason, because you have all it is as soon as you stop compromising, as I know that you're doing, right? But this is something we've got to get over. But as you further develop yourself, and you're just like, no, I will not compromise. I will not have gravy that tastes like dirt upon my fantastic Christmas dinner, you know? And as soon as that changes, it just means that you had a choice of option A and option B. Option A is compromise. Option B is like, no, a man that would never ask you to compromise and just wants to give you what it is that you want. And the more you focus on A, the more B is just like, oh, okay, well, she's not there, and he goes away. So it's kind of just like, well, fuck it, and go for B. Just don't compromise. Absolutely, that's why you're single for the last 3 years. Right, well, perhaps change it from, try not looking for a relationship or for a forever partner, right? Sometimes that's another thing that blocks us, is we look at the stigma of, how many of you look at casual sex as something that is degrading, that is fishy, or just no. And we hold a little bit of judgment on that. But here's the thing. If you are simply going to go for a partner because you are trying to find relationship prospects, it means you are already putting boundaries on and commitments upon your growth and development, right? So you're basically telling the universe that I will not engage within any sort of activity unless they are my, I'm not going to say forever partner, but at least somebody who is long term. But the thing is, the universe is looking at you like, well, that's going to take a while to get, because right now you need to heal yourself. And the way to heal yourself is you may need to have 5 different partners and to read 5 different books in order to get the information, the collective information that you need, so that you can have your forever partner, right? Or so that you can have your longevity within your partner. But if you keep blocking that, if you keep blocking those little books to read and to exchange energy with, then literally it means that you're waiting a long time, because you need these books in order to get to that book over there, right? And so we block ourselves. So again, when you are, and I'm going to hold my hand up, I was blocking a lot of books. I was blocking a lot of books. So Vladimir, I know exactly what you're talking about, or what your energy is talking about. And I actually had to understand myself more, to be like, I'm not finding the individuals that I desperately am really needing right now, because of my own stigmas towards a union, right? Because one of my traumas that I had to get over was the fear of being used. Because I thought, I have this wealth of information. I am such a fantastic lady. Not only, and I'm not trying to big myself up. I'm just factually stating. I'm like, I know I'm very attractive. I know I'm very healthy. I know I have a lot of life to give. You know, I know that when I have an exchange with an individual, they will automatically go into a place of self-discovery and healing, right? They will feel very, 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 very good afterwards. You know, and I was blocking myself, because I'm like, I've got so much to give, but what am I going to get out of this, right? And the thing is, I was putting way too much expectation. And so I had to let that go. I had to face my, I tell you one thing, if Master or Fern had more stable internet, and she could tell you the conversations of me pacing around in her living room going, okay, I'm going to have to get through, oh shit, I'm going to have to get through this, right? Because it was one of the comfort zones that I was in, which was to block, right? But it wasn't my energy that was blocking, it was my fears that were blocking, because I had this fear of being used. So I wasn't opening myself up to literally having the exchanges that I needed for healing, right? So And don't get me wrong, it's still something I'm working with, because again, my PTSD, those entities, they're hard. You know, a lot of it has been ingrained in you, and it's a slow process of removing it. But I'm removing as fast as I can, and I'm hoping at least that whatever I'm having, I can share with you guys, right? So that you can at least use whatever it is that we can get. So, literally, that's what I can say, Vladimir. If we do not want to be single for a really long period of time, especially when your body is calling for it, then go out and have fun, right? And this is for everybody else as well. Go out and have fun. Open yourself up. For one, if both of you are two consensual adults, that's the first step, is consent, you know? Secondly, you both are attracted to each other because you enjoy simply being with each other, right? Regardless of the outside stuff, you know? It doesn't matter how wealthy or not wealthy they are, or if you can build a life with them. It doesn't matter, because right now, in this moment, you're two consenting adults. You enjoy each other's company, right? For whatever reason you enjoy it, you enjoy it. Number 3, you have a sexual attraction to each other, right? And that's what it is. Now it's about, don't hold that back. Go explore it, right? Because there is a reason why you need to explore it. Whether it lasts just for the moment, or whether it lasts for many more moments, that is for your energy to decide as you let the union go through, right? But that's what you got to do. Just literally keep it right here and don't block it. I'm doing the same thing right now. I'm doing the same thing right now myself. So we'll all get through this together. And we'll all learn how to make love and grow and develop together. All right, I hope that helps. Oh, I'm glad, I'm happy that you needed to hear that, because sometimes I got to remind myself of that too, right? And when I feel that there is that attraction there, I got to not stop it. And, you know, if you need to, sometimes that's just, you know, sometimes an energy exchange can just be simple flirting, you know, but sometimes we stop ourselves from even flirting because we think, oh gosh, I don't want to give the wrong impression because it may lead to somewhere, and you know, and so forth. And it's like, no, sometimes the energy exchange is just simple flirting, and that's it, and then you move on, right? So see what happens. Okay, let's have a look here. So going forward here, hi Trisha's sweetheart, and so much love and respect to you too, sweetheart. You are doing amazing. Let's have a look here. So, Jared, is anal sex for a woman healthy and safe if someone right, or does it do damage down there? And safe, is someone right, or does it do damage down there? And then you said done. I'm like, I don't know where that comes in. Oh, if done right, sorry, instead of some, if done right, or does it do damage down there? To be honest with you, when it comes to however you make love, whether it is anally, vaginally, or whatever like that, as long as you're going back to, one, is it something you're attracted to do? Does it feel good? You know, is it consensual? You know, and as long as there is no force or any holding back with it, if your partner really enjoys that, and she's just very open, and she's just like, nah, I'm happy for this. This is what I want. Then that's what you should do, because it is the energy exchange, right? Again, we're big balls of light. Whatever, if we're not trying to produce children, specifically in the material, then lovemaking takes whatever form that is enjoyable. So there is no kind of wrong way for it. Again, you can do it safely, you know, and make sure it is clean, because at the end of the day, feces are not something you truly want all over your bits, you know, at the end of the day. So there are ways to make it clean, and I will let you do your research as to however you want to make sure how you wash and your own personal hygiene, but yeah. Now, will it be very common with women? Not necessarily. There's not actually a massive amount of ladies that like to have that. But I'm not saying it's impossible. It's just depending on the individual and whatever you're into, man. Like, shoot. That is where my guidance is. Just like, you just gotta go do what you want to do at that point. Like, technical details, that's up to you, man. Right. Okay, let's have a look here. Oh, Vladimir, you say, absolutely. That's why I'm single for 3 years. Yep. Alexia, so how do you know if someone is your forever partner? Alexia, that's another thing. The best thing I can say is get rid of the thought or the limitation that there is a forever partner for every single individual, right? Some people will have a forever partner because that's what's called in their energy, and others who are like me will not have a forever partner because we are constantly evolving, right? It really does depend on who you are. So what I would actually say to that question is, don't put a limitation on it. If you have in your mind that I'm holding myself out for my forever partner, then you are literally limiting yourself, right? And stopping yourself from actually having very, very wonderful moments with people who may, like I say, may be just for the day or for the night, or it could be for a few months, but that does not take away the beautiful experience that you have. They could be for a few years too. But again, placing a forever limitation on it just means that you have this commitment or this limitation that once it's reached, then you start forcing because you're trying to look for it. It's like, nah, man. If they're your forever partner, if you are that kind of fractal that requires a partner to fulfill your purpose, then you won't need to question it. You'll know, right? And you'll know because you will simply continuously grow together. Right? And that's just what it is, right? But for other people, that's not enjoyable. You know, you'll find a partner and you'll grow and you'll establish wonderful connections, and then when the time is right, you move on, and that's what feels really, really good, right? Because that's the kind of person you are. So yeah, that's basically what I have for there is don't put any limitations on. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But understand yourself and understand why. If it does happen, it happens, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. And then you live life happily and in peace and always progressing and developing. Right? Master Lucas, now that I have merged with my twin flame, will I find a life partner? Is Master Lucas a fractal that holds a life partner? No. Right? No. And this is one thing for yourself, Master Lucas. You are, again, if you are putting an expectation, because you have such a massive amount of energy. You know, the fusion of your twin coming back into one caused an even more massive amount of energy, right? If you are looking for a life partner, they have to match that energy. And the thing is, when you're constantly developing and progressing, that's a lot of an expectation to put on somebody, right? So literally, I am going to do the same thing, which is try not to think of it as a life partner, but think of a partner for your development in the moment, right? For however long that lasts. And thus, that way, when it's time to let go, it's not going to hurt so bad, right? Because you're like, I appreciate and I'm in gratitude for everything that we have exchanged together. That part of my life, that chapter is now closed, and I'm open and happy to see what else the next chapter holds for me, right? Whoever that may be with at the same time, right? And then again, you let them go and everybody grows. Oh, thank you, Trisha Sweet Pea. You're so kind, making me blush at everything and ting, ting, ting. Love you, sweetheart. Ed, you say, I'm glad you said that. I'm 62 and have been single for 3+ years. I'm going to take your advice. Been spending too much time looking for that long-term relationship. Right. Just go out and be good, and you're going to be all right. Okay, perfect. Trisha, big no, it's painful on the anal here. I know, right? Again, some people like it, other people don't. I'm like, that is your private business. No, definitely no judgment for me. Right? Not for a lot of women. That's it. But that's the thing, Jared. You know, if that's something you're into and you're just like, and you're really open, like, yo, man, I want to explore this, and you're just like, hey, this is what I want, that you require is going to come to you. So that's what we got for you. All right, sweetnesses. That is it from me for today. Thank you so much for joining me. For today's topic of discussion, and also going through some readings and helping me out with my new pendulum here, for us to get a pendulum wheel here for us to get into a little bit more depth as well. Now, if you did find this this one very, very helpful, I definitely recommend sharing it out there, because sex in society is so difficult for so many people to address, because we have been taught that it is something of filth in a way, if we don't have that life partner, or that if we go out there and explore our desires and do so within a place of love, that somehow we are filthy or dirty in some way. And it's just not true, right? So I thank you for joining me. Hopefully that you will find it well to share, and let's get this discussion of open love making out there so people can understand how to grow and develop through this beautiful union, because there is a reason why it feels so good, right? So we got to stop fighting against ourselves. Anyway, thank you ever so much. You guys are amazing. I'm gonna go get the oven now. That's what that beeping is. It's the timer. So I'm gonna go take the food out the oven. Love you guys. Take care of yourselves. Bye, honey buns.